Hello, and welcome to Enriching World. Here we will explore fascinating stories about economics, finance, and global curiosities that have shaped history. Get ready to uncover a universe full of learning and new perspectives. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to keep up with all our content. Let's embark on this enriching journey together. 1.5 Fool's Gold, the story of a global financial collapse. In the world of finance, there's an old saying, all that glitters is not gold. The story we'll share today vividly illustrates this truth. We're talking about the creation of a financial product that, although it appeared to be a gold mine at first glance, turned out to be a ticking time bomb that almost destroyed the global economy. Welcome to the fascinating story of Fool's Gold, a narrative that reveals how greed, lack of regulation, and blind faith in poorly understood financial products contributed to the greatest financial crisis since the Great Depression. In the 2000s, the financial sector was in a state of euphoria. Banks and investors were excited about a new wave of innovation, creating financial products never seen before. The real estate market was booming, interest rates were low, and credit was more accessible. This scenario seemed promising, leading to widespread confidence in an unbeatable financial system. Banks like JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and other financial giants began creating complex financial products like CDOs, Collateralized Debt Obligations, which bundled various mortgage loans and turned them into seemingly secure investments. The promise was simple: turn risky debts into financial products that any investor could buy without worry. These products appeared at first to be a golden opportunity, offering high returns and the apparent security of a stable market. But behind this facade of prosperity lay a combination of uncontrollable risks and a fragile financial structure, and so began the story of Fool's Gold. Credit derivatives like CDOs were the heart of this new financial strategy. These products promised to transform a mountain of risky debts into seemingly secure investments. The enticing promise was, if you buy these products, you can achieve high yields while risky debts are spread and organized into easy-to-sell packages. In practice, these derivatives worked as a way to fragment risk. Instead of a bank or investor being exposed to a single risky mortgage, these loans were bundled into packages and then sold to other investors who didn't want to know the details of the original loans. This created the illusion that risk was diluted, and that these products were safe when, in fact, they were filled with highly risky underlying assets. Banks like JP Morgan spearheaded the innovation of these financial instruments, and investors, lured by the promise of high returns, began buying these products in large quantities. The CDO market expanded rapidly, with most people, including the banks themselves, not fully understanding the risks involved. Everything seemed perfect, like a snowball growing ever larger, but the foundations of this house of cards were about to collapse. The bank's strategy was closely tied to the real estate market. The idea was that mortgages provided a solid base for these credit derivatives, and as long as the real estate market kept growing, investors would be rewarded with high profits. But this reliance on the real estate market was, in fact, a ticking time bomb. With low interest rates, more people began buying homes, often with loans they couldn't afford long term. Housing prices skyrocketed, and the market appeared to be in a bubble that would never burst. The system was soaring, and everyone was making money at least until reality began to unfold. Banks were issuing loans to virtually anyone, even those without the real capacity to repay them. Many of these mortgages were extremely risky, known as subprime. But this didn't seem like an immediate problem. What investors didn't realize was that by packaging these risky mortgages into CDOs, they were creating a web of loans and debts that would later prove unsustainable. These mortgages were then sold to other investors, creating an endless chain of debts based on insecure assets. As the real estate market continued to grow, housing prices kept rising, and banks and investors were more confident than ever. But no one stopped to think about how fragile the system would be if the real estate market slowed down. In 2006 and 2007, the housing market began to show signs of slowing. Home prices started to decline, and borrowers could no longer afford their mortgages. What once seemed like a safe strategy quickly turned into a financial nightmare. Subprime mortgages began to default en masse. CDOs, which were composed of these risky mortgages, started losing value rapidly. Investors who had bought these financial products didn't know what to do, and the banks that had created and sold these derivatives faced enormous losses. The debt packages, once considered safe, were now becoming toxic assets. By early 2008, the collapse was inevitable. The financial system was on the verge of imploding. Banks like Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers began to fail, and other financial institutions were forced to seek government bailouts to avoid total collapse. CDOs became a deadly weight on the global economy. The impact of the 2008 financial crisis was devastating. The stock market plummeted, and a global recession ensued. Millions of people lost their homes, jobs, and savings. The collapse of major banks and the bankruptcy of financial institutions created a domino effect that impacted every sector of the global economy. The crisis also triggered massive panic in financial markets. Major financial institutions needed government bailouts, and the global banking system collapsed. The concept of too big to fail became a reality, and billions of dollars in public money were used to save banks and prevent an even greater depression. The story of Fool's Gold serves as an important reminder of the dangers of overconfidence in the financial system. Credit derivatives, which promise to transform risky debts into safe investments, were, in reality, a grand illusion. They showed that in the world of finance, easy profits often hide enormous risks, and an economy driven by greed can be extremely dangerous. This story is a warning to us all. In a world where the pursuit of quick profits can blind investors, it's essential to maintain a prudent approach and understand the risks we're taking. The lessons of the 2008 financial crisis remain relevant, and we must ensure we don't fall into the same traps of the past. Enjoyed this story? If you found this narrative fascinating and educational, subscribe to the channel for more stories about the world of finance and the global economy. Don't forget to activate the notification bell to receive more videos with stories and analyses that help better understand the financial market and its impact on our lives.